So there I was, overweight, out of work, sitting on my mum's sofa. I didn't like where I was. I really wanted to change. The problem was every idea I came up with seemed too hard and too risky. It was just much easier to reach for another chip. And I was stuck this way for weeks, even months. And I might still be there now, except something happened to me one night to really knock me off my perch. And I'm mentioning it because it's going to happen to you too. Because it happens once in every sports fan's life. For me, I was watching the All Blacks run out onto the field one night when I had that moment. When I saw for the first time that I was in fact older than any of the players on the field. It's going to happen to you too, unless bowls is your sport and then you've got a bit longer. Now, not that I ever wanted to be an All Black, really, but I always thought that it was an option. Now, for the first time, I realised that unless I took some action, those opportunities were going to pass me by. I was thinking just like this guy. You see, from his point of view, he thinks that sitting on his bum is the best thing that he can do. But what we can see, he can't see, is that he hasn't really got a sustainable position for the future. What he needs to do is stand up and make some tough calls, even though it might be a bit uncomfortable for him in the short term. When it comes to encouraging someone to take action, there are two broad approaches. The first is to create a vision, paint a picture of the future, of what you want to do and why and how great things will be. And you should definitely do that. And later on in these vlogs, I'll be talking about doing that in detail. The second approach, though, is to get a sense of urgency, to create a sense of urgency, a sense of how bad things will be if you don't change, or if they don't change. Unfortunately, humans being what we are, a sense of urgency is usually the more powerful motivator. Back in the 1960s, when people could get away with ethically dubious psychological studies, there was some fascinating work done on the power of urgency. Researchers organised to have a group of students in a lecture hall, and one by one the students were told that they were needed in another part of the campus. What the students didn't know was that their route had been designed to take them past a man lying on the ground, clearly in distress and in need of help. And what the psychologists were really trying to find out were the factors that would encourage the students to stop and offer help. What they discovered was the factor that led to the least assistance was urgency. If the students felt that they were under time pressure to get to where they had to go, they wouldn't stop. And what I didn't mention is that the university was actually a seminary, and those students, they were training priests, and it didn't matter that the lecture that they were leaving was on the parable of the Good Samaritan. If they thought they were late, if they thought they were letting other people down, then they would happily hurdle over the homeless person. That's how powerful a force urgency is. And you create it in yourself by reflecting on how much worse things will be if you take no action. By pointing out that doing nothing, although it feels okay now, becomes a terrible option over time. Now there's a link in the notes that details the steps for how you do that. So if you're trying to encourage someone to jump into a swimming pool, you can tell them how good the water feels and how much fun it will be, and that might work. But if you need them to take action now, try shouting that the hair's on fire. Marketers know this, and that's why you often see advertising copy like, "Buy now, only 2 seats left." The fear of missing out creates a sense of urgency that creates action. And they use it because it works. And it works even when you know what they are doing, and so it will work on you and your team too. You'll find a transcript of this video and links to the study I mentioned, plus techniques for how to apply it, plus information about my speeches and workshops on the link below.